And today's agenda is as follows. We'll be going through daily management, an overview of what that actually means, your yearly and monthly details, your yearly and monthly deals, the functionality, a little bit about distribution. If we've got time, I'll go and show you that area, but distribution is going to be our next webinar, and that's your channels and your live environment. And then there'll be a Q&A afterwards. So let's get started. I'll just go through to my other screen for you. You'll see I'm logged into my console here. I'll just make sure that everyone can see that. This is the area that we'll be looking into today, your daily management area here. And you'll be looking at yearly deals and monthly deals. And if we have time, a little bit of distribution down the bottom here. Previous webinars have included this rooms and rates and property details area from setup. So I'll just quickly go in there and just do a refresher for you. This is where you would originally set up your rooms and rates. So you've got the room type and then the rate plans underneath. We're going to be working on these new ones here, the Deluxe King and Deluxe Queen. You should also be able to see tabs up the top here. You're able to access yearly deals and monthly deals through here, as well as through these icons here. These tabs will follow you through, so you don't necessarily need to come back to the home page to access yearly or monthly deals. So let's go into yearly deals first off. What is daily management? What does it entail? Daily calendar checks for high travel dates, stop sell requirements, low season rate changes, seasons, removing availability for room maintenance, etc. Basically, it's looking to the present and the future to ensure that you're getting bodies in beds for the best rate possible. And that takes into consideration yield management as well. So navigating Resonline. So I'm going to show you yearly deals first. So that's under daily management, this icon here. And we're going to choose the Deluxe Queen one night rate plan just to show you what it looks like. Now your calendar here is 720 days. Why is that? It's because Booking.com requires 720 days for a full update. That's 2 years, 24 months. To be able to assist them with getting that kind of an update, we allow you the full 720-day calendar. Now this is your availability screen. You can see that I only have availability for this particular property, for this particular rate plan until, let's clear that highlight, until the 4th of March 2018. I can fill that all the way through if I wish. If I don't wish to have availability that far in advance, I don't have to. If I do have availability though, I must have a rate. So if we go to the rates tab now, you'll see that even though I don't have availability here, I do have a rate. I don't have a rate here. Now, if this is blank, one, it's going to cause errors with your updates through to channels. Channels do have safeguards, for example, Booking.com, Expedia, where if there is no rate value or the rate value is under a specific threshold, it will stop the update going through. That's to stop you putting free nights and $10 rooms on the live sites, but it also does error out the rest of the updates. So if you are available for sales, so if you're white or green, then you need to have a rate value. Rate values also are what minimum night restrictions are required to stick to. So for example, if I go to the 3-night, you can see here I've got no rate values in these dates here. I'll just highlight them to make them a little bit easier for you to see. Clear that and just get that a little bit better for you to see. And that one there as well. And that one. Now if I go to the minimum nights tab, you'll see these ones have defaulted to 1. It's because there's no rate value for it to stick to, so we need to insert a rate before that will actually fill in. Now you'll see that there's ones down the bottom here as well. I'm actually going to go back to rooms and rates just quickly, back home, and show you the year-round default. Okay, so if we go to rooms and rates, when you're originally setting up your rates and your room types, you've actually got a little area here. These are ones I set up this morning. I'll show you this one. See this year-round defaults here? I have this set for 24 months in advance. I have a rate value across the dates. I can change this so that Fridays and Saturdays is more expensive automatically. And I've got the minimum night restriction that I want. Now this here is set for 24 months, so it will work tonight for the 721st day that appears in the calendar. Okay, so if I go back to our yearly deals, go back to that rate plan that I was on, go back to rates. These are the dates that I was talking about before. These won't fill in automatically because they're already pre-published. That year-round default, when you set it up, is only going to work for the new date that appears in the calendar tonight. So it'll work on these two dates. And sometimes you'll see that there's only one, sometimes there'll be two. And the reason for that is that it's queued up to update for every rate plan, for every property, for every client that we have. So sometimes there'll be two dates. Eventually you will see those update as the day progresses. So what I might do is I'm just going to quickly fix this first. So I'm going to change the rate here, just going to change the rate here to 150 so that I've got a rate value in there, and you can see that that's changed now. Now this highlight will follow me no matter where I go until I either clear the dates and make a new selection, or I exit out of yearly deals. And the same goes for monthly deals. If you have a highlighted selection, it'll follow you through the rates until you either clear the selection or move out of that area. So now I'll go to the minimum nights tab, and I can change that now to 3. And because I have rates in there, this will stick now. If I was to do the minimum nights first, before I did the rates, you'll be chasing your tail. It'll default to 1 every time, and it won't stay at the 3 unless there is a rate value there. So now what I'll do is I'll just go back to our slide deck. So set up in yearly deals and monthly deals. In yearly deals, you're looking at single rate plan update for the full 720 days. You're also looking at bulk update and channel overrides, seasons, and again, that's the full 720 days, and we'll go through that now. Monthly deals, pretty much exactly the same, it's just a different view. It's 31 days where you can see all rate plans in one go. You can see single rate plans, and it looks slightly different because there's the inclusions is included in that, and I'll show you that briefly. The months are selectable, but it is by 31 days. So if you choose February, you're going to get a little bit of March as well. First thing we'll do is we'll go to our new King rooms. When you first make a rate plan or a room type, you'll automatically default your availability. There's actually a little box there that's automatically defaulted to 2. You can change that to 1, but it just auto-populates the first 720 days worth of availability for you. So here I've got availability up to and including the 3rd of March 2018. I'm not available for the rest of that period. Just clear that highlight. If I wanted to change any of this availability, it's just as simple as highlighting and making that change over here in the corner. I'll just move my panel so you can see that. Okay, so in this one my availability is fine, that's the way I want it. With this view here, with yearly deals, your white boxes are your midweek, so that's your Monday to Friday. Green is Saturdays and Sundays. Pink is that you have no availability, and if I was to apply a stop sell for this date here, I apply it on, you'll see that that goes pink, but there is a little X there. So if I go back to availability, I can see that I have availability, but it's on a stop sell for this particular rate plan. This particular rate plan itself is not on stop sell. Okay, now that is fantastic for when you're doing dates like Christmas and New Year, Easter, where you want a particular for example, 7-night or 5-night minimum stay, you would actually put a stop sell on the lesser rate plans so that you are open for sale, but only for the dates and restrictions that you require. So let's go and have a look at the Deluxe King rooms that are my fresh ones, and we'll walk through just the daily, firstly the original setup, and then the daily maintenance changes that you can make. So this is my first one. Got my availability for 2 rooms. The availability is going to be the same for every rate plan that is under the Deluxe King room type. So that includes all of these. So let's go to rates. I have my rates filled out for 720 days. I've got my minimum nights set as 1. Maximum nights, it's optional. You don't actually have to have anything filled in here. If you do, that's great. Some websites will take that information, others will not. You'll be able to find that in your distribution pages. And this is your inclusions, which again is completely optional. So let's go back to availability, and I'll pick up the 3-night rate plan. Again, availability is exactly the same as it was on the 1 night because it's under the same room type. Go to rates. I filled in my rates until this point here. Now, if I go and leave this as it is, minimum nights have defaulted to 1. And that won't change until I put a rate value in there. So let's go and fix that. Let's go back to rates, highlight the period that has no value, go to here, put in 225 for the moment. That's now saved that. Using that same highlight, I can go straight to the minimum nights and change this to 3. Now, we always recommend that you do your rates this way in this particular setup. It just gives you more flexibility. It means that I can change the rates for a 3-night to be less per night than the 1 night to encourage longer stays when I'm at my lowest peak seasons. And I can also put a stop sell on the 1 night to only have the 3-night available for sale and then hike the rate up for peak seasons like long weekends, that kind of thing. So let's go to the next one. 7-night. I don't have any rate plans on this at all. This is brand new. I just made it. So let's start from scratch on this one. So the first thing I need to do is make sure that I've got rates in every day. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to check my availability. I don't want to sell this rate plan for 2019 at the moment. So I'll close that one down. We'll just change the availability to 0. I'm not ready to sell that far in advance. Go to clear. You can see that that's changed to 0 and it's gone pink. I don't necessarily have to have rates if I don't have availability, but it's always good to make sure that those values are in. Just so that when you do get to those stages, the rates are already there for you. You can then just change it, but your minimum nights are stuck. So let's now go to the rates, highlight the entire calendar. I'm going to make this base rate 200. Make sure that that saves. Go to minimum nights, change that to 7. And that's my basic setup. I don't have to do that again because the year-round default is going to continue to fill in the new dates that appear in the calendar. So I don't have to go this far every day. This is just my original setup. So I'll clear that now. Now we're looking at, for example, let's say that there is, let's do New Year's and Christmas at the end of the year. So we'll select this period of time. I only want my 7-night rate plan to be available, and I'm going to make the rate a lot higher for over this period because it's so busy. So the first thing I do is I highlight my selection and then I go to rates. I'm still on the single rate plan update. I then change the rate here to 275. Save changes. While I'm in yearly deals, that highlight will follow me wherever I go. I can create a season, which I'll do right now. So I'll say Christmas 2017, create season. Now, if I clear that and then select my season, that will highlight that period of time for me again. So I'll show you another one. That's my low seasons. So that season I had previously saved for my Deluxe Queens. That's working for my Deluxe King as well, and I can change this to make it a little bit cheaper at 100 to incentivize guests staying longer for a cheaper per night rate than automatically selecting one night for 200. So now I'll just clear those dates again and bring up my Christmas. Here it is. I'm going to go to my minimum nights, make sure that they're still at 7. I'm then going to go to my one night and apply a stop sell. Save. And then I'm going to do the exact same for my 3 night. And now for that period of time, my 7 night is the only one available for sale. Okay? And you could do this for each individual rate plan as you go. However, we do also have bulk update, which makes this a little bit easier and a little bit quicker for you. So let's go and do that. Bulk update. So it shows you the entire calendar, and there are many different options you can do. So to start off with, I need to decide what I want to change. So I go to update. I want to change my stop sell. I can either select all rate plans or I can select individual ones. What I'm going to do is I've already done the Christmas New Year period for the Deluxe King. I'm going to do it for the Deluxe Queen now. So I'm going to apply a stop sell on the 3 night, the 2 night and the 1 night. And I'm selecting it on. And then I need to select the dates. So I go to December and select my dates there. Save. Wait until this bar has completely stopped before you leave this area. Now if I go back to single rate plan update and pick up, for example, the Deluxe Queen 2 night minimum, go to monthly deals so you can see it a little bit easier. I then pick up December next year, this year, sorry, you can see that was the bulk update that we did, all in one go. Okay. Now what I'll do is I'll go back to yearly deals really quickly now. There is another thing that you can do with bulk update, which is fantastic, and that's if for 2018 I want to increase all of my rates by 10%. I don't have to get a calculator out, work it out for each individual rate plan, even though each individual rate plan is at a different value. I can easily do it by bulk update. So I just go to please select. Rates is what I want to update. I want to update all rates. Set to increase by or decrease by. I want to increase by $10 or percent. And then I'm choosing my time from January 2018 to the end of 2018. That also is another trick. If you're doing big selections at a time, start highlighting from one end and then go to the end of your selection and highlight the last date. That'll stop you going over what you wanted to select. Save that now. Now this will take a little bit of time because we are doing all of the rate plans. So you wait until this has been completely filled. I'll just pick up December, go to rates. For example, we've got 125 here. If I pick up January, that's now 138. It's gone up 10%. Okay. So back to yearly deals. That's pretty much bulk update in a nutshell. You can do everything from here. You can change your availability, you can change your rates, minimum and maximum nights, your stop sales or inclusions. Once you've selected something there, it then asks you what rate plans, and then you change method, and then you highlight your dates. The only menu item here is channel overrides. You can see that this is blank at the moment. This will fill up when you actually set up a channel override. So a channel override is, for example, saying to the system you want to put a stop sell on Christmas this year for Booking.com or for Expedia, because you don't want to sell anything just to that one channel, or you want to increase the rates or decrease the rates for a certain channel. It's not going to affect anyone else. It's just going to affect that channel. So what we're going to do is I'm going to do a quick one for you. So we go back to single plan update, and this is how you set up a channel override. So I'm going to choose the plan, and I'll just pick up one that we've been working on. So I'll pick up the 3-night. And I'm going to choose the only connected web channel that I've got, which is your website. And this is just because this isn't a live console. So you can see automatically that my options have decreased. I can only do rates and stop sells in a channel override, so that's when you know you're in the right area. And it says you are currently making changes to your website. Changes you make here will not affect your standard rates. You will get a big warning here if you're trying to do a channel override for a rate plan that's not actually connected to that channel. So if you don't, then you know that you're working on a rate plan that is affected by that channel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, from the 1st of January 2018 right through until the 7th, I don't want to sell anything on my website, Booking.com, Expedia, whatever. Can you see how this little pop-up comes up? It says the standard rate is $248 and the final price is $248. If I did a stop sell for this, I'll just clear that for a second. Do a stop sell here. Turn this on. Save. Can you see where it says remove override for your website? I can then delete this, should I choose, just by clicking that. I don't necessarily have to go in and highlight and remove it that way. If I then have a look at channel overrides over here, you can see how it's now listed. If I go to edit now, it'll open a new tab in my browser, take me to the rate plan, but it won't actually take me to the channel override, to the actual channel. So I just need to select that again. And you can see that there's my change. If I go back to standard rates, that's available for sale because standard, it is available. Okay. Now what I want to do is with those dates, I'll remove that. Bear with me for 2 seconds. Remove. That's changed it. Leaving that highlight on, I decided I'll let them sell it. That's going to be a little bit more expensive for them. So again, you can see my little pop-up come up. What I'll do is I'll just change this to 300. Save. Now, if I go back to our standard rates, so see how this is yellow now? It tells me that there's something different. If I hover over the top, it tells me that the standard rate is $248. My override for your website, be it Booking.com, Expedia, is $300, so the final price is $300. Okay. So that is yearly deals in a nutshell. If I then go to channel override, you can see that it's listed there and I can access it from here. Okay. So that's your yearly deals. Your monthly deals is pretty much exactly the same. It's just a different view, like I said. So we'll go to monthly deals now. We'll see how for July, I have the last little bit of July here, and then I've got August, and I've got about 31 days, 30 to 31 days. If I was to select February, I get full 28 days and then a little bit of March at the end. But the main deal here is that I have access to everything for those 30 days. So I can go to availability and see the availability for each of my room types. I can see the rate plans and the rates all in one go. I can see minimum nights and stop sells, etc. Okay, what I can also do is look at single rate plans for a month. Now this view is a little bit different. So again, I select my rate plan. Let's choose this one, for example. I want the month of January 2000, oh no, let's do December 2017. I hit go. I've got my dates, I've got my rates, the availability, stop sell. I can apply stop sell just by ticking the box. I can change my minimum nights. I can change my maximum nights, but that's optional again. And I can also write in inclusions and then copy it down to the next one. So it's just a different way of looking at things. Most people prefer working in yearly deals unless they're doing major updates and then they use their bulk update. Some people prefer looking at a month at a time but doing all of their rate plans for that month at the same time, so monthly deals works for them. Really just depends on how you feel. We're pretty good for time, so I'm just going to check and see if there's any questions. The next webinar that we do will be in distribution, which is this area here. These are all of these two websites. This is your website. This is the link for the booking gadget if you use it. Chris has just informed me that there's no questions. Fantastic. It means I didn't go too fast. So I'll just give you a bit of a heads up in this area here. These two ones will always be connected for you. Your website is the booking gadget that we give you to put onto your own website. And again, that'll be another webinar. TripAdvisor, this TripAdvisor connection here is just the data source connection. It's always going to be active on this distribution area because it's just the area where a guest would go onto TripAdvisor, select their date, select the property they want to go to, and then TripAdvisor grabs every website that they're attached to, sends it out to the guest and says you pick. So that one's always going to be connected because of your website. This will not work unless you actually have an account with TripAdvisor, but you'll see down the bottom here there's no accept and connect. For example, your go-to ones at the bottom here, there's an accept and connect. These are your welcome pages, so you need to make sure that you go through this before you start connection because each website's going to be different in the information they pull from us. So I'll just quickly go to my other screen. So next webinar is on setup and distribution. This is the nerve center of your console. All business is conducted through here. We'll be doing understanding channel managers, your website list, your welcome pages, Booking.com and Expedia. And the reason why we picked those two, we're global preferred suppliers for them. We have partnership agreements and direct and mapped connections. And that'll be in the next webinar. So where to go to for help? If I just go to my other screen, I'll show you where you can go for help in the console. So if we just go back to the home page, the support icons here, this little gentleman here, if you just click on him, you'll get to our contact page. If you fill in this area at the top here, this will send a help ticket to us and we'll be able to assist you from there. This has also got our opening hours. We have a team on the Gold Coast and we also have a team in Manila. We also have weekend support via email only. So if you do have something urgent over the weekend or public holiday, put urgent in the subject line and our team will get back to you. Here is your help documents. So if I just click on there, This is an online manual for the system, and it's got all of the subjects that we just went through. So your yearly deals and your monthly deals are here, and those are everything that we went through today. That is about it for me. We've been really good on time. If you do have any further questions, queries or concerns, don't hesitate to give us a call. Again, my name's Karina. I'm third level support team here. I'd like to thank Chris for helping me out today, my colleague, and thank you for joining in. Please remember, I'll give you a couple of seconds if you wanted to download that slide deck. That won't be available when I do the recording. And I'll say goodbye for now. Thank you so much for paying attention and joining me today.